Several weeks ago in this very same room, we held a public hearing to hear from our Office of Policy and Management, our state's budget office, our Office of Fiscal Analysis, our legislature's nonpartisan fiscal office, and we heard the news that was not a surprise, but all of us across the state of Connecticut and country are hearing, that our state has a budget deficit. And both of those offices confirmed that that deficit was $300 million in the current fiscal year, and that deficit would only get larger if it changed at all. That meeting was held even before the near collapse on Wall Street. So what we know is that our state faces serious fiscal troubles. Even the comptroller's office recently also confirmed it's not a partisan budget deficit, it's a state budget deficit. Governor Rell has taken some very strong, bold, yet difficult action in cutting almost $200 million from our state's budget to help reduce that budget deficit. But it still sits at $300 million. Cities and towns across the state of Connecticut are taking the leadership steps necessary to balance their budgets. Just today, I heard on the news the West Hartford Town Council has cut $600,000 from their budget. Democrat Mayor of Bridgeport, former colleague of ours in the state Senate, has been cutting the budget in the city of Bridgeport, even to the extent where he's had to lay off police officers. They are taking the leadership that is necessary in these difficult times. Our neighboring states and other states across the country are also taking the difficult steps necessary to meet their fiscal challenges. We need look no further than New York, where Governor David Paterson, a Democrat, has said, and I want to read you his quote because it's important. He said, "I'm calling for another special session." They've already had one to cut the budget, but he's calling for another special session because it is clear that we have no other option but to make further difficult choices to ensure a balanced budget in this time of extraordinary financial and economic turmoil. Several weeks ago, we called for legislative action. We, Representative Cafaro and I, the House Minority Leader, sat down with our Democratic counterparts and Governor Rell in good economic times and negotiated a good balanced budget that didn't raise taxes. That budget doesn't work in this economy. We need to sit down again as Democrats and Republicans with the governor and address our budget deficit. We need to take that action now. Our Congress, a dysfunctional, partisan, bickering lot like you've never seen before, put aside partisan differences on the eve of a federal election to come together on a $700 billion rescue plan to help our nation's economy. So we have our Congress acting, we have our governor acting, we have our neighboring states acting, we have our mayors and first selectmen acting. Yet our Democratic majority does not want to address our budget deficit. We need to sit down and address our budget deficit right now. The longer we wait, the worse our problem gets, the more difficult our choices get. We have a $300 million budget deficit. We cannot be making comments like the chairwoman of the Appropriations Committee that we should be spending more money on teaching assistants at UConn. We should not be making statements like the Speaker of the House saying we don't need to deal with this problem. We can wait. We can't wait. The people of Connecticut cannot wait. There isn't a single family in Connecticut, there isn't a single small business in Connecticut that isn't looking at their family or business budget and saying we can wait. They're all making tough choices. They're all learning to live with less. We as a state government must make those same choices, and we must do them now.